Here we are, guys. We're here in Brazil. The 9th race of the season is underway, and we are starting off with practice. 30 minutes of practice. Now, I'm feeling quite sick. I think I've got COVID, so commentary won't be the best. So I apologize for that. But, slide. So we've got new drivers joining us. Fire Striker will be on later in the session. Tix, he is new to the season. Honza is Susar, who raced in the first race of the season. So I'll be naming him, I'll be calling him Honza for the commentary, but he is Susar, the same guy who drove the Red Bull in the first race of the season. 2,000 pigs. If you are a member of my channel, you know who he is. He's in the other league, but he's nice enough to join us in this league now. So he's a full-time driver. Now, I need to figure out how to shorten this guy's name. Ludolorent, God's sake. Ludolorenic. I'll get there. Anyways, it goes fastest with the 110.8. Ludolorenic. Should I just name him Rennick? I think I will. There's the yellow flag, and that was Honza. But the car is still going in the correct direction, which is most important. So yeah, I'm just going to be naming him Rennick today. And he goes even faster with 110.8. Honza 116.4, but he did go off the track on that lap. So that's not an entirely accurate lap there. Lika is on the hard tire, so Honza and Rennick are on the medium tire. Madav joins the top three with a 116.8. Lika couldn't get faster than Rennick. He has a 112.6. So, everyone is out on track. Lovely. Got the Miami GP livery for Kick-Sauber for Tix, making his debut this season. And let's see how he goes. So yeah, everyone out on track, which is awesome. Got 6 drivers, the most since Miami, which was round 6 of the championship. It's now round 9, and then before then, it was the first race of the season where we had Birdman, Luke, Susar, Madav, David, and Josie. Most of them are gone. There's only two people that have continued after that race, and that is Honza and Madav. So, you invalidated their ticks. Honza's close to Rennick. He is close. Pretty much exactly a tenth away from him, just under a tenth. That'd be what, 97 thousandths? And he has a purple first sector, so hopefully he'll be going quicker this lap. The yellow flag is a Williams letting by his teammate. And Pigs goes fastest with a 1:10.6. Let's talk about the championship. Fire Striker, who will be joining later this session. He is 1 point ahead of Lika, 2 points ahead of Lika in the championship. 2. Madav is third with 112 points, and he's spun here. He's gone deep into the corner. And he's doing donuts. We've got another driver joining the donut party today, and it's 2000 Pigs. And now he continues on as you'll need practice. Lika goes past him. Madav is the only one in the pit lane, and quickly following him is Honza, who I think has damage there. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw an end plate gone. And oh, bloody hell. I just caught that. Where both of these drivers had quite a big slide. But yeah, I do believe that he has damage. I can't quite tell at the moment, but I think he did have damage when I saw him. Can't see anymore. Yeah, Lika hunting down those 2 points to Fire Strike in the championship. The comeback of the century for Lika. He is making a name for himself here in the league. And even if he doesn't win the championship this season, he has done a superb job. And we all have to give praise for him, to him for that. And he's just waiting because his teammate just got out of the pit lane, and it's Madav. He's got the slowest time at the moment by 8 tenths. 8 tenths slower than it ticks in the Sauber. And he's going round turn 3, ending the center S. Down the straight to turn 4, and he was on the grass then. Yeah, who is messaging me? I didn't put chat ups. So, hold on, just give me a moment. And get my chat up. That's my own voice. Why are you thanking me, Lika? What are you thanking me about? Even then, I need water, but it's so hard to swallow it. Damn, but...
The new letter, you will win the championship. NVN now. Too late, low.
What do you mean too late? You're 2 points behind Fire Strike in the championship. Oh, you're thanking me for saying, like, even if you don't win the championship, you've been superb. That's... Alright. You're welcome. Because you are a great driver, and he is out on track at the moment. There he is. Lika. Hunting down the 2 points to Fire Strike in the championship, who is joining soon to make it 7 cars out on track, which is the most this season.
Yeah.
Right, nice. Yeah, let's see how you do out there. Gonna let by the Sauber of Tits, and he is invalidated, so he will not be going any faster today, and he's also letting by his teammate Madav, who is also invalidated this lap. But he just wants a bit of space now. No, Madav has let him back past. So, Lika goes down the straight. And on the way down to turn 1. Let's see how he will go. He rounds the center S very, very nicely. Some very clean cornering here from Lika. Here in practice, we're nearly halfway through practice. About 2 minutes. Yellow flag, and that's Madav. I would imagine he had a moment, but he's swiftly back on track. He improves his lap, but not by enough to get to the top, which is held by Pigs. So the new guys making a name for themselves already today. Let's watch Pigs. He's going to start a lap now. See how he goes. Fire Striker has joined. Lovely. He's got half of the session to practice, so that's good to see that Fire Striker is here, and he will be wanting to... Oh, Tix has left. So he's just gone AI now. I'll invite him back. He might have had an issue or something. Interesting. Madav goes into the pit lane. But back on board with Pigs. Lika actually improved his lap then. And he's half a tenth away from Pigs. So, Pigs didn't improve that lap. There's Fire Striker. He is in now. Oh, he's gone off the track. And he's invalidated, so that's his lap done. Honza's the only one joining him out on track, and yeah, that's just a Williams going into the garage, and that will be Lika. So let's watch Honza. Susar, but renamed to Honza. So it's the same guy as the first race of the season.
Six Nations and Racing Water Combo.
Nice. And he goes fastest with by 2/10 with a 1:10.4, and it seems like he has really improved since Australia. He's had lots of time to improve and practice, and he said that he's practiced quite a bit for Austria, but then he realised the next race of the season is Brazil, not Austria. So he is he's not familiar with this track, but it seems like he's all good. By how things are going about at the moment, this is the closest times I think we've ever seen in practice so far this season. So, let's hope the lag isn't as bad as last week in Singapore, where when one car goes on top of the other. Let's hope. But it probably will happen, won't it? Alright, the only cars out on track at the moment is the Williams cars of Lika and Madav. Madav looking to finally get his first win of the season and is trying really hard to do it, but the drivers about are just so quick. And Tix has joined back, so that's good. He is back, so he must have had like some connection issue that kicked him from the server. So glad to see him back into his car. And we'll see him go out shortly. Pigs has gone out. Rennick has gone out. It's good to see. And Lika goes on his merry way to start another lap. What tyre is he on? He's on the soft tyre, I believe that is. Yes, it is. Let's see what tyre everyone is. Let's see what their fastest time was on. So Pigs, his fastest time was on a soft tyre. Honza was on a medium tyre. The rest on the medium tyre, then Firestrike and Madav on the hard tyre. So, it seems like everyone is going to be out on track now, all 7 cars, because you can see on the map that Honza is now coming out the pits in some traffic because there's a Williams, an Alpine, and an Aston Martin right there. So he comes out in a bit of traffic. It'll be all good. As they're all scrambling about, Lika improves his time. But let's see what's going on over here as they're trying to get into their best position possible to go as quick as they can for the next lap and do some quali runs for the final 10 minutes of the session. What's happened to Pigs then? He's just stopped on the side of the road. So I don't know what's going on with him right now. He's in neutral, he's got it going. So he's back on track. And that's good to see. So let's see how he does today, as it is his first race of the season. And same with 2 other guys, Tix and Rennick. It's their first race of the season. As Honza with Susa just changed his EA name to Honza, so yeah. Seems like these drivers are touching the grass quite a bit today. And there. But Pig's not being able to get past Honza because he has invalidated, and you can see he's not particularly happy about that. It's only practice. Tix. He is improving by a second. So let's see what his lap will be. He goes quickest with a 109.4. That's a great lap. And Honza's 1 second clear of him. So let's see what the other drivers can do to get close to that time. Who's next in the queue? I think it's Madav. No, he's invalidated. So then Rennick, he's invalidated. Honza, he hasn't invalidated. He's going down at the straight. And let's see what lap he can put on the board. Will he be able to improve? He can. Not by too much, though, compared to Tix. Oh, he's gone off the track. I'd imagine Rennick is now starting a lap. Riding the curb a bit too much there and validating. Fire Striker has the slowest time so far. He's finally set a time, but it's a bit too slow at this current stage, I would be pitting this lap to go onto a softer compound. Probably the medium tyre, do a hot lap on that, and then go on the soft tyre. But let's see what he does, as it's his choice in the end. Yellow flag, and that's pigs. And he's hitting the wall. He's missing his left end plate, so I don't know what wall he's hitting for that to come off, because there's barely any walls about. Probably won't see a safety car today because of the low chance of crashing, as you can barely see any walls inside apart from here and just before the corner. I want to ask to any driver listening, if there is any drivers listening, is there going to be rain at some point today? Because we haven't had rain at all this season in the race, and I'm curious. Got 6.5 minutes remaining in practice, so Fire Striker still hasn't pit. He's still out there.
In this race.
Oh yeah.
No rain.
No rain at all. Wow. There hasn't been rain at all this season in the race. There's been 2 times we've seen rain. Second half of quali in Canada and second half of quali in Singapore we've seen rain. So, interesting. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, Fire Striker, the championship leader. Still not going quicker at the moment. And he has invalidated. So I'd imagine he'll be pitting this lap and wanting to go on a softer compound of tyre. Oh, Madav crashed. Madav crashed on the pit entry. There he is. He's had a moment, so that's even less time to practice. And that's not ideal for him. But there's not much time in practice left anyways. We've got 5.5 minutes to go out of the 30 we started with. But yeah, Fire Striker goes into the pit lane. And hopefully we'll see a softer compound of tyre going onto his car in just a moment, because we want to see what lap he can pull off at the moment.
Don't know what happened.
I couldn't catch the crash. I only saw the aftermath, whatever my country says it. I'm not too sure, never learned it, of the accident. So, I'm guessing your car just lost control down the straight, which I wouldn't say is ideal. Yep, Fire Strike is going on soft tyre.
Got into wall somehow.
Okay, I'll have a look at your stream. See what happened. So, where's your channel? There it is.
NVM, how are you, BTW? Long time.
So, how has this man crashed? Guessing it's right here. Oh, that's weird. That's a weird one. I think the grass just made you lose lots of traction. And just sped you into the wall. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But there isn't too long left in the race, so you don't have to worry about that at the moment. Yeah, how am I? Not doing the best. I think I've got COVID. I haven't tested yet. Because my parents have COVID, and I'm feeling quite ill at the moment, so I probably do have COVID, but I'll test after this. But let's not talk about that, because we have a race on our hands very soon. Fire Striker, let's ride on board with him. Let's see what lap he can pull off. As it goes down to turn 1 on the soft tyre. His previous lap was on a hard tyre. So let's see what his lap can be today here in practice. as he rounds the center S very, very nicely on the way down the DRS straight to turn 4.
Yes, I mate.
Bye. Have a good good qualifying race. Want to see you back on the podium, as it's been a bit. No, it hasn't. Last week you were on the podium, weren't you? I'm stupid. Honza improves his lap with a 1 minute 09.4, and he's quicker than Tix. Not by much though. Here's Pigs on the side of the road. Let's see what Fire Striker can do. He rounds the final couple of corners. The flat out kinks to the left to end the lap. What will the lap be? It's not as quick as the other drivers. He's 2/10 off Leaker, his championship rival. Once again, the championship leader is P6 at the moment. P6. That is, he's going to be wanting to improve that, especially for quali. Oh, bloody hell. Hello. That was a... seemed like he had a moment on the pit lane exit. But he's out on track. And wanting to go faster than Honza. He'll be tight on time here, but I think he will be able to get to the line in time. He's got one lap to try and improve his lap to beat Honza. Why isn't Pigs going in the pit lane? He's got low fuel. He doesn't improve. Just though, that was close. He was so close to improving his lap. Wouldn't be much so compared to the top order, Honza and Tix. Once again, Honza was Sousa, or Honza is Sousa. Yeah, see ya, mate. Yeah, Sousa. Yeah. Honza is Sousa. So Honza raced in the first race of the season, and it's his first time back here in round 9 of the season. The Alpine is done. Rennick is done with practice. Fire Striker improved his lap, and he's quicker than Rennick. And he's just under a 10th away from Leaker. So it's very close between him and Leaker. And he finishes the practice session. 2000 Pigs goes into the pit lane. Tick's not far behind him, and he has invalidated. So that is the order for practice. And we will get into the serious stuff for quali. 18 minutes of these drivers to set their fastest lap possible around the Sao Paulo circuit that mostly everyone enjoys. And hello, Miller. Welcome.
Page 3 for practice. I'm surprised.
Yeah, you're good, mate. You're not that bad.
I thought I was going to be lost.
No, you're not that bad. I knew you were going to be right up there. But yeah, that's practice. Honza just ahead of Tix. They're in the final classification of practice. But we'll see their true form when we go to qualifying in 15 seconds' time. Here we go then, qualifying. Looks quite cloudy, but Pig says there's going to be no rain on the forecast, so it seems like it will be all good as quali gets underway in 2 years' time. Because what on earth is going on? Oh, there we go. But yeah, let quali begin. Got 7 drivers, the most drivers in a race this season. So that's great to see. First car to go out on track is Lika. Or was it Madav? No, I think it was Lika, yeah. Yeah, Lika goes out the pit lane. So we've got everyone going out on track now, apart from the Alpine of Rennick. And he was second to last in practice. Madav would have gone quicker if he didn't have an unfortunate crash. But yeah, there we go. As you can see on the map, the Alpine is going out on track. Let's ride on board with the Lika. So he goes down to turn 1, gets it stopped very, very nicely. Through turn 2 and turn 3 to complete the center S onto the straight, down to turn 4. And let's see how the car will be stopped here. Gets it stopped very nicely, just misses the apex a bit there on the left-hand side, gets the apex nicely at turn 5, however. And then the quick right-hand flicks of turn 6 and 7, and then turn 8 to start the windy bits to end the middle sector. Gets the car stopped nicely. Goes out of turn 10 through turn 11 to end the middle sector. And now he goes through turn 12. And then at 13, 14 and 15, 3 left-hand kinks. Flat out left-hand kinks to end the lap, and he goes and cross the line, and the benchmark time is a 110.3. That will definitely be beaten later on in the session. Next to cross the line is Pigs, and he beats it by 4.5 tenths with a 109.8. Next to cross the line is Madav. Where will he be? Is 1.7 seconds off the pace of Pigs. Next up in the queue is Honsa, and he goes quickest by exactly 4 tenths with a 109.4. Then it's going to be a Ferrari of Fire Striker, the championship leader. What will his first lap be here in qualifying? Fire Striker crosses the line and exactly 1 tenth behind Honsa. So the practice setting him up for qualifying here. Invalidated lap 4 ticks. So he's starting up 1 now. Invalidated lap for Rennick as well. So he will not be sending a lap just now. So we're just waiting on Tix and Rennick to set their lap times. Let's ride on board with Tix as he is on a lap right now. Let's see how his lap will be as he goes down to turn 4. Hits the apex very nicely, and then turn 5. On the way down to turn 6 and 7, the right hand flick to the right. And now he starts the windy parts of the middle sector. A bit of a slide out of turn 8 through turn 9 and then to turn 10. Let's see how the car will behave here. It's doing very well, but a bit of a slide out of turn 10 as well through turn 11. Yep, it was a very nice corner there, and now it's just throttle to the floor for the rest of the lap. Through turn 15 to end the lap, and he crosses the line and goes quickest by nearly 4/10. So Tix, that is the lap that everyone will be chasing after. Rennick crosses line, and I'd imagine he invalidated that time, that lap as well. So he'll have to go again now. There's a yellow flag, and that's Leaker. And I think he made a mistake because I believe he was on a lap just then. And he rounds turn 12 quite slowly, but I'd imagine he's either starting up his lap or going into the pit lane now. Seems like he might be going into the pit lane because this is quite a slow start to a lap. Yeah, he's damn, that sucks. Let's run on board with Rennick. Him and Tix are the only drivers out on track, but joining them is going to be Honza and Madav in just a moment. Madav exits the pit lane in about a few seconds. So will Honza. Rennick rounds the final proper corner of the lap very nicely. Now it's flat out for the rest of the lap. Does he pit because of the low fuel? No, he doesn't. He's going to complete this lap. Let's see how it is. And he goes third fastest with by 3.5 tenths, close to Tix. Oh, big slide. But he's not on the lap, so it doesn't really matter in the end. Madav out there. Going to turn 10 now. How will he do? 11.5 minutes to go. Madav is the slowest car out on track at the moment by 2.5 seconds slower than the benchmark time of the session from Tix. The yellow flag is Honza just starting up his lap here to try and open up a big gap to Madav. Let's see how Madav does this lap. He crosses the line and goes down to turn 1. That was so close to the grass, but gets an optimal line through there. He doesn't use the corner cut. He doesn't use the curb at all. And he doesn't go to the right-hand side of the road. You can see his teammate Leaker coming out of the pit lane in the Golf McLaren car. He's 2.5 tenths up on his first sector. He rounds turn 5 on the way down to the short run to turn 6. Gets the car turned very nicely, but it's a bit wide through turn 7. He goes off the track. Lucky to not invalidate, however. Through turn 9, the long left-hander, which puts you to the very short run to turn 10. And then the long left-hander, which will be flat out of turn 11. Then a very short run to turn 12. Gets the car through there very nicely. A bit of a wiggle on the exit of turn 12, however. But he goes down the straight. How will the lap be? He's almost out of ERS, but I think he'll just be able to get to the line in time. He improves his lap, but he's still the slowest car out on track. And if he wants to get his first win of the season, he's going to have to do some incredible work to improve his pace. Leaker and Honza start their laps here in the middle part of quali. Let's ride on board with Honza. As I think he actually did a lap then. And he's almost exactly 2 tenths away from Tix. It's mighty close between them, as you can see a massive improvement for Honza after being away for 7 races. He has had a massive improvement since the first race of the season. So things are going well so far for Honza. Let's see how he'll do for the race later on, though. Leaker, I imagine he will be starting up a lap in just a moment. Fire Striker on an outlap. The championship leader by 2 points has just come out of the pit lane with 8.5 minutes left to go on the clock. Madav goes into the pit lane following Pigs, Rennick and Tix. And eventually Honza. It's just Fire Striker and Leaker, the championship rivals, are out on track at the moment. Is Leaker going to come into the pit lane? Doesn't seem like he is. He's draining the battery. Let's ride on board with Lika for another push lap. Second in the championship, 2 points behind Fire Striker with 4 races to go. He is second to last, 1.2 seconds behind Tix. And if things don't go very well for these two, they're going to be a bit annoyed. But, he invalidates there, Lika. So, Lika will not be able to set a time this time round. Will set a better time this time round. Pigs comes out of the pit lane. Fire Striker starts his lap, goes through the center S very nicely. Then the DRS straight to turn 4. How is the lap looking so far? He is half a tenth faster than his first sector time. And he rounds the left-hander of turn 5 to turn 6. Very, very nice through there. Can he get this car stopped and turn it in nicely? It was alright. I wouldn't say that's the quickest we've seen today. But it seems like so far it's good enough to improve his lap. I didn't see his previous lap, I don't think, so can't really comment too much on how his lap is doing compared to the last. And he has his foot to the floor now through turn 14, then turn 15 to end the lap. What will his time be? The championship leader goes up into P1, half a tenth quicker than Tix. Fire Striker is on provisional pole with a 109.0. That is the lap everyone is going to be looking after now. Tix has left. He's probably having connection issues. Because that's the second time he's left now, so I'll invite him back to the lobby, but hopefully this doesn't happen too often, because he is a quick driver, but this will cost him quite a bit. Honza, he starts the lap now. Lika behind him, I think, is ending a lap. Uses overtake mode for the rest of the lap. Foot to the floor, to the line. Second in the championship, 2 points behind Fire Striker. How close will he be to Fire Striker? 8 tenths behind him. So Lika, seems like this track is not his strongest. He's P5 at the moment, ahead of Pigs, who just comes into the pit lane. Let's ride on board with Honza, as I think he is on a lap right now, as he rounds turn 9 on the way to turn 10. The yellow flag is Lika. He's not on a lap, he just finished his. Let's see how Honza will do. He rounds turn 13, 14, and then eventually 15 to end the lap. We've got 5 minutes left in quali, and how will Honza do? Honza goes quickest, not by much, with a 108.957. Nearly a tenth quicker than the championship leader, Fire Striker. Can anyone get faster than that? That is the fastest time we've seen so far today. The other driver out on track is Lika and Madav. Madav on an out lap. Lika probably on an in lap. I'm not too sure. I would be pitting. I would. But let's see how he does. Does he come into the pit lane? Nope, he starts a lap. So, unless he's finishing a lap, which he didn't, but I think Lika is now starting up a lap. 4 minutes to go. Madav starts a lap. Tix comes out of the pit lane, so he has rejoined. But to just tell everyone, Sousa, the Red Bull is Sousa. He just changed his EA name to Honza, but we will be calling him Honza to avoid confusion for some people. Lika rounds turn 6 and 7 quite nicely there, gets the car stopped nicely at turn 8, and then the long left-hander of turn 9 up a little hill towards turn 10, and then eventually 11. He's got a Sauber on the right-hand side of the road to try and not hit, but he's right out of the way. So that's no confusion for the Williams driver chasing down Firestrike in the championship. How will his lap be? It seems a bit slow so far. No, he backs off. I don't know why he backed off there. In the end, I don't know. That's a bit confusing. But anyways, Tix starts his lap. He's trying to find 1.5 tenths to get provisional pole here in Brazil, the 9th race of the season. It's his first race of the season. Rennick, it's his first race of the season as well, and so is Pigs. Pigs and Tix running the Max Verstappen Japan helmet. It's going through quite nicely for Tix at the moment as he rounds turn 11 to end the middle sector. How is his middle sector? He is so close. I would imagine he's on the limit though, and he has his foot pinned to the floor for the final run to the line. How will Tix's lap be? He doesn't improve. He will have to go again. He will have to recharge the battery. Firestriker goes out on track. Honza, as you can see by the map, he is moving, so he's just coming out the pit lane now. Williams goes into the pits, and that is Lika. Lika's done for qualifying. Lika is provisional P5, which is not a great start, but he has got great race pace. So let's see how he'll do for the rest of the race tomorrow. And I think Madav had a moment. He has invalidated, so he'll have to be quick to get to the... No, he's on low fuel, so Madav is starting P7 today. Pigs, his lap is invalidated. Hopefully he'll be able to start one now. Rennick, I believe, is on a lap. Tix has invalidated. Firestrike and Honza on an out lap. This is very tight for quite a few of these drivers. Pig starts the lap now. How will his lap be? He doesn't invalidate. He was close to, though. But he uses all the road on the right-hand side, gets through the center S nicely, runs down to turn 4. He's 1/10 up on his sector 1. He's trying to find a second here to Honza. Now you got to believe, Lika. You got to believe. Keep trying. Well, I'm 39 points behind James in the championship in Tier 1 with 1 race to go, but I'm still going to try. That's not the point right now. The point is these drivers. Rennick, he doesn't improve his time. So Rennick is P4 at the moment. What will Pigs? How fast will Pigs go? He's going quicker, but will it be enough to get to a higher position? He's using all the battery for the end of the session. Pigs improves his lap and he goes up into P5. The final 4 positions are set. The top 3 are not set though. Tix rounding the corners. Firestriker will end his lap. Firestriker cannot get pole here in Brazil. How will Tix go? Tix crosses the line and he can't steal pole off of Honza. Honza is on pole here in Brazil. And how about that for Honza? The first race of the season, he was well off the pace. And he comes back into the 9th race of the season and he grabs pole just like that. Well done to Honza. I think he's ending a lap right now. He doesn't have to finish the lap. He is on pole. How about that for a qualifying session? It is so close between the top 3. Not at less than a second. Less than a second separates the top 3 drivers. What a qualifying session that was. Honza on pole. Firestriker less than a 10th behind him in P3. This will be a great race. Depends on how the race paces for these drivers. Let's see how it will go for the first race of the season. That was a great qualifying session. Thoroughly enjoyed that.
Drive from One Frank Games. First race.
Oh, did you? I was wondering where the heck you were.
Boomy.
It's time for the 9th race of the season in JP Racing League Tier 3. This track is commonly favoured by drivers and fans, so this will be a fun one. This circuit spans over 4.309 kilometres or 2.677 miles, with the city of Sao Paulo completely surrounding the track. There are 15 corners, 10 to the left and 5 to the right. This race will be quite interesting because Firestrike is only 2 points ahead of Lika in the championship, so the battle between them here in Brazil will be very spicy. Let's see how it will go between them. Yeah, this is going to be quite a good one. Yeah, I was wondering where you were. You were gone for ages, bro. I was quite worried. We start the formation lap here before the lights go out. Leading is Honza, Tix, Firestriker, Rennick, Pigs, Lika and Madav. Lika does not want to be back there. Oh, already off the road is Honza. Alright. Yeah, this is, I think it's going to be quite a good one. Let's see how it will go. Lika does not want to be back there. Seems like this is not his best track here in Brazil. So let's see how it will go. For Lika, Firestriker wanting to open the gap in the championship. So, championship, Lika only 2 points behind Firestriker, so he'll be wanting to get up the order quite quickly. He needs a good start today. We've only got 25 laps. And I think it would be a one-stop race for these drivers today. So let's see how they'll go today. Honza gets the car stopped nicely. On the marks. Eventually following Tix and then Firestriker. Let the battles and chaos begin here in Brazil. It's lights out and away we go. Who gets a better launch out of these drivers? It's Honza, and it was a bit squirmy off the line for Tix. Honza leads into turn 1, but there's chaos between an Alpine and a Williams, which is Lika and Rennick. And Tix goes around the outside and takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix on the way down to turn 4. Defending his position, can Honza go down the inside? He won't be able to. Firestriker defending his position from Rennick. And Lika's ahead of Firestriker. It's a bad start for Firestriker. Great start for Lika. And down the inside goes Lika, and Lika's up into P3. Already in this race, Firestriker goes down the order and goes into the back of Lika. Firestriker's behind Lika. Lika 6th to 3rd. But Firestriker argues the case and he retakes the position from Lika. But Lika wants to make a fight out of this. Lika up 2 positions from the start. Can he get past the Ferrari driver once again? They're going side by side, wheel to wheel, down the straight to end lap 1. What a start here in Brazil. Lika in P3, Tix leads the first lap of the race. Firestriker down the inside, but Lika is trying to hold on to it. Lika stays ahead of Firestriker. but I don't think the battle will be done just yet. Fire Striker will have a look on the inside. The left-hand side of the road belongs to Fire Striker, and he goes down the inside, and a bit off the road goes Lika, but Lika holds the position of Fire Striker, and that is crucial for the championship early in the race. Tix leads the race by 7/10 to Honza. Pigs past the Alpine of Rennick. And then just behind there's Madav, who has not gained any positions, which is not fortunate for him. But he will try and continue to get a position here in Brazil. The gap is closed just a bit now between Tix and Honza. Lika, Fire Striker actually got the position back from Lika. Now Fire Striker will be having to defend from Lika. The championship rivals back at it again to start lap 3. Where will Lika go? Lika will go down the inside, but I think it's a bit too early. Big slide from Fire Striker, and that causes Lika to go past the Ferrari. And Rennick goes past Pigs, but Pigs wants to get it back down the straight into turn 4. Who was going to be brave down here? They make a bit of contact into the corner, but Pigs up into P5. Rennick down to P6. He's lost 2 positions at the start of the Grand Prix. And I had a look on the inside, causing a bit of contact to Pigs. Madav, more than a second. He must have had a moment there. He's lost 1.5 seconds there. He must have had a moment. Because he has dropped quite a lot here. Honza and Tix having a fight for the lead here, as I saw a position change, so they must have gone wheel to wheel for a bit there as we were watching Madav falling behind the pack. DRS will be activated here for Honza. He goes down the straight. Which way does he go? Goes to the right-hand side of the road. Tix on the left. And Honza takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Further back is Lika and Fire Striker. They won't be able to make a move into the top 2 of the race. But how about Tix? He is right behind Honza. Honza's wanting to defend the left-hand side of the road into turn 4. And he denies Tix from going past, but Tix goes off the road, and Lika goes past up into P2. It's a dream start for Lika. He started P6. He is now up into P2. I think the drivers will be starting to calm down now. 3-second time penalty for Tix already in this race. We're halfway through lap 4, and that is not ideal for Tix. Honza will be wanting to open up that gap to second place to Lika. It's an absolute dream start for the Williams driver, who's trying to close the gap in the championship to Fire Striker. And at the moment, if we exclude the extra points we get for cleanest driver, fastest lap and all that, Lika will be in the lead of the championship as it stands. 4th to last race of the season is bringing some chaos. The top 5 are all within a second of each other. Tix has actually now opened up a second gap to Lika. He's falling behind now. Fire Striker had a little look on the inside, but he couldn't find a way past the Sauber driver. And Pigs 8/10 behind, looking for a chance to pounce if one slips up. Lika looking for another win of the season. How will he do? The Williams driver here halfway through lap 5, looking to get past the Red Bull driver, who has seemed to improve so much lately. So Lika will just try to be hunting down. He's now over a second behind Honza, and he doesn't have DRS because of that. That is not ideal for Lika. He'll be wanting to close the gap a bit more as Honza goes into the distance now, trying to open up the gap a bit more. Tix is back under a second behind Lika, but I think he had a squirm. Oh, he's off the road and hits the wall. Tix goes off and hits the wall and goes down the order, down into P6 with that 3-second time penalty. And that is not ideal for the driver making his debut this season. He's down into P6. That is not ideal. He'll be wanting to now go back up the order. Pigs is 6/10 behind the championship leader, Firestriker. I think that helps Firestriker more than anything here, because it brings him close in the championship to defend his position. What a crazy start to the race this has been. Pigs is the only driver that's under a second behind someone here, and he's hunting down the championship leader on his debut. He's got the DRS. Will he be able to go for a move into turn 1? Let's ride on board with him as he goes past the Ferrari driver and up into P3. But Firestriker tries to keep it on the inside, but he can't. 10-second time penalty for Tix for speeding in the pit lane. That puts him to 13 seconds now of penalties, and that's not ideal for the driver making his debut this season. He doesn't change in his front wing, so it seems like he didn't get any damage for hitting the wall then. So that was quite a crazy bit here, but Firestriker and Pigs were going side by side, and Firestriker got back the lead. Got back third, here in Brazil. And he'll be wanting to close the gap now. He retires. Tix retires, and he gives up from the Brazilian Grand Prix. His debut has not gone how he wanted it to go. The first retirement of the season goes to Tix. And Madav had a big slide there. Out of turn... What turn was that? 9. So, yeah. Chaotic start to the season. Firestriker's under a second now from Lika. Let's see how these three will do. For second place on the track, Honza is Sousa. Remember that. As he changed his EA name since Australia. Pigs is close to the back of Firestriker. Can he go for a move into turn 4? He's a bit too far back to even have a look on the inside, and I think Lika went off the road a bit there, so they'll close the gap to Firestriker just a bit. Look how close Pigs is to the back. Oh, he had a bit of a slide out of turn 7 for Firestriker. Let's ride on board with Pigs as he's behind the two championship protagonists. Unbelievable battle. Unbelievable start and chaos we've had today. Look how close Firestriker is to the back of Lika. He might go for a move into turn 1 here. The gap is just opening a bit now, but he will have the DRS. He puts on overtake mode. Lika, he is saving up his energy, and the championship leader goes past Lika, but Lika sends it. And he somehow gets past Firestriker. Back up into second in the track. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings goes to Rennick, and Firestriker tries to get back second place, but can't quite do so. Pigs just watching this battle unfold. And Lika has a big moment and goes off the track. And that is not ideal for the driver trying to close 2 points in the championship to Firestriker. He'll be trying to close that gap now. Pigs less than 6/10 behind Firestriker. Let's ride on board with him. He loses it onto brakes. Big moment for Pigs. And that puts him further down the order now, down into P4. That's not ideal for the debut driver. So the drivers making their debut, seems like it's not going too well for them. One has given up. One is a bit too far back to actually have a chance to make up positions, and one was in a battle for a podium spot, but he just lost it now. Madav comes into the pit lane for his first stop of the race here on lap 10. Let's see how the pit stop will go. It doesn't change the front wing, so it's not a damage-related issue. He puts on the hard tyre, I believe that is. Yes, it is. What a crazy start to the ninth race of the season. Absolutely incredible. $2,000 pigs. Close to the back of Lika. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for Madav. That adds to his collection now of penalties this season. Into the pit lane comes the Alpine, the first pit stop of his career here in Tier 3. How will this pit stop go? What tyre does he put on? He puts on the hard tyre, it seems like, from here. And yeah, it is. So he comes out the pit lane with a 3-second time penalty and a hard tyre compound. Pigs under a second now, behind Lika, who is 2 seconds back from his championship rival Fire Striker. Depends on what extra points he gets out of this race. Fire Striker will be opening the gap in the championship. Lika will be doing everything he can, but he had a slide out of turn 9, and look how close Pigs is to the back of Lika. Lika's all over the road, and I'd imagine he'll be pitting quite soon. And he locks the front tyres just a bit, and he goes down the straight, but will Pigs have a chance here into turn 1? Does Lika go on the pits? No, he doesn't. He defends his position, but there's nothing he can do with the Aston Martin flying by with DRS here on lap 12. 2,000 Pigs up into P3, and he'll be wanting to hunt down the championship leader, Fire Striker. 2,000 Pigs making a name for himself here in JP Racing League. But Lika wants to make a fight out of this. He can't find a way past the Aston Martin. And he was quite slow. They make contact, and Lika barges Pigs out of the way. And I don't think Pigs will be happy about that one. What on earth happened there? Lika, I think it would be wise to give the position back to Pigs. It doesn't seem like he is. But I would imagine Pigs will not be happy about that one. Lika had a slide, and maybe he is letting by Pigs without losing much time, and he does. So Pigs is back past Lika. The top two in the race comes into the pit lane, and now 2,000 Pigs on debut leads the race. Fire Striker comes into the pit lane. Honza, the race leader, also does, and he puts on the hard tyre. Fire Striker on the hard tyre. Everyone on the hard tyre apart from Lika and 2,000 Pigs. What a race so far this season. What a race so far today. The Alpine just not able to perform the undercut to the Ferrari, to the championship leader. Rennick making his debut this season, and he just isn't able to make the undercut, but he's got the warmer tyres. Fire Striker's got the cold tyres, so he's going to close the gap just a bit here. And I think, will he be able to get past the Ferrari on the straight? He is so close to the back of the Ferrari, and he sends it on the inside and causes contact, and he can't get past the Ferrari just about, but he'll have another go. And the top two in the race comes into the pit lane. Pigs comes into the pit lane. Lika goes into the pit lane. And Lika gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And it seems like it's going to be the Netherlands all over again. And Fire Striker wanting to defend the position to Rennick. Rennick goes to the left-hand side of the road and takes P2 in the race. But Fire Striker is wanting to hold on to it. They make a bit more contact. But He gets P2 on debut. Lika, don't worry about it, mate. You got this. You can still get points. It'll be crucial for later in the championship. Never give up when you're in a championship fight, like French did. Oh, a bit of a slide out of turn 9 for Lika. He'll be kicking himself after that penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Fire Striker is just under a second back from the Alpine, making his debut, Rennick. But let's watch his championship rival get closer and closer to Pigs, but he's too far back to make a move into turn 1. Pigs looking very, very strong. Lika and Pigs are on the soft tyre, so it seems like they'll be doing a 2-stop race today. Lika closes the gap to 2,000 Pigs, and he goes down the inside, and he spins round Pigs. Both go off the track, and I think Lika let Pigs go back past. They are having a fight to the death here with 10 and a half laps to go. Fire Striker closing the gap to Rennick, making his debut. It didn't start off well for him, but it seems like so far it's actually going quite okay. 2,000 Pigs will be hating the battle with Lika because that's the second time he's been pushed off the road by him. Fire Striker with the DRS. He's closing the gap more and more. He is the championship leader and wants to get up as many positions as possible. He had a look on the inside. It was so close, but he couldn't find a way past, and I think he cut the corner bit there. So that'll be a warning for track limits for Fire Striker, and I don't think he'll be wanting to do that again. Will he be able to go down the inside? And no, he won't be able to. And, well, Lika is lagging a lot, apparently. So I think, yeah, I guess that is the reason that all of this is happening. That's a bit unfortunate. I'll let him know after the race. And I'm sure he'll be joining the stream at the end, so we can tell him then. But yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, you just got to keep going. Points are still on the line, and Fire Striker is wanting to make the most of it. So you got to get to it, Lika. Fire Striker has the DRS. He's 4 tenths behind the rookie driver of Rennick. He's not driving like a rookie today. Fire Striker goes down the inside. And can he finally get to second place? No, he can't. 2,000 Pigs sets the fastest lap of the race here on lap 17. Can Fire Striker finally get past the Alpine? Both don't have the DRS, so they'll probably even on the detection point. Fire Striker still cannot get past Rennick. Meanwhile, Honza is just off into the distance, going through turn 9 right now. He's actually not too far ahead. So if he cannot afford a mistake, Honza. He cannot afford one. Oh, Fire Striker sends it on the inside, and he gets a move done. But he'll be vulnerable into turn 1, however, because he will have the DRS, the Alpine driver, not driving like a rookie today. I think he had a bit of a slide out of turn 12. 5 tenths separates them. Will Rennick be able to get past Fire Striker? He goes to the right-hand side of the road, and they're going side by side through turn 1, turn 2, and he gets back second place on the road. What a race this is. And they're still making contact. They're still having a fight to the death down into turn 4. Fire Striker's ahead of the Alpine driver. This is an outstanding battle. But look how close he is. Oh, he had a big slide out of turn 7. But with the 3-second time penalty that he's got, he might just have to... I don't know what he can do here because Pigs is under 2 seconds away from him. But his tyres will be degrading here. Let's see how Pigs' tyres are doing. They actually look quite okay here. So it seems like he'll be able to go to the end here, Pigs. What a race. Honza has the fastest lap of the race with a 1:10.6. So that's an extra point so far for Honza. He's 8 seconds in the lead of the race, following Fire Striker. And then Rennick, 1.2 seconds back. So he's falling off Fire Striker. He's got 2 laps older tyres. So the tyre age difference is making a statement more than anything here. But yeah, what a battle. Oh, it goes off the track. And I thought he was going to have a even bigger moment there. But 2,000 Pigs, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for Rennick. And that makes it to 6 seconds now. He'll be wanting a generational fumble of for Pigs if he wants to get a podium on debut. He is all over the place. He is struggling out there at the moment. We're now going on to the 20th lap of the race. 6 laps remaining of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Pigs right behind the Alpine of Rennick. Will he be able to go for a move into turn 1? He activates DRS, drains the battery on the way down to turn 1. Can he have a look on the inside, on the outside? No, he can't. And it goes deep into the corner. And I think that will ruin his chances for a move into turn 4. Actually, he might be close enough into turn 4. No, he's just a bit too far back to make a move on the Alpine driver making his debut. And Pigs also making his debut. These two drivers battling it out for their first podium of the season on debut. So, the debut drivers out there. Third place with the 6-second penalty, however, holding off another rookie driver, Pigs, for P3, and then a retirement for Tix as he gave up after a 10-second penalty to add on to his 3-second penalty, and he was fallen all the way back. Pigs has the DRS. He doesn't have much battery at all, but he goes to the left-hand side of the road, and he goes down the inside, and he barges him out of the way and takes P3 here in Brazil. Now, I'd imagine he'll be going off into the distance now as Rennick has got a 6-second time penalty. So he won't be able to do much here. As if I was him, I wouldn't bother to fight. But, you know, probably for fun, wouldn't it? But yeah, what a race we have had. Non-stop action all the way through. Let's watch Honza. 7.7 seconds ahead of the championship leader. We have got 4 laps to go in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Oh, I think there's a battle between Fire Striker, sorry, not Fire Striker, Rennick and Pigs, and Rennick goes off the road. And I see an end plate gone off of his car, so he must have hit the wall. I saw on the map they were going side by side, and then the Alpine just fell back quite quickly, so must have hit the wall there, and he goes so wide off the road. So it seems like that's race over, and P4 for Rennick. With that 6-second penalty, he needs an additional 4 seconds to make it even between him and Lika, and another track limits penalty for Madav. So he joins Rennick with the 6-second penalties. What a race. 3 laps remaining as Honza crosses the line to start lap 23 of this race. Firestriker hasn't been able to catch up to Honza, but will Pigs be able to catch up to Firestriker? He'll be pushing. He'll be wanting to get second on debut. Into the pit lane comes Rennick. And he gives up his P4 to Lika. That helps Lika in the championship just a bit more now as he changes his front wing and goes down to P5. He will be ahead of Madav, but I think it'll be a battle between them. Maybe it's just a bit too far back to actually see a battle between these two, as it's been such a long time since we've seen Madav in a battle. Honza is just about to cross the line to start the penultimate lap of the race. Here we are on lap 24. What absolute domination from the Red Bull driver. What a day. Oh, he has a bit of a slide there. Out of turn 9. I think he's all good, as he's 9.4 seconds ahead of Firestriker. Pigs has fallen behind a bit more by 2 seconds last time I talked about it. But yeah, the battles have had a rest today. And we are on the final lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix. After this race, we have 3 races remaining. What a day. It has been absolutely dominated by Honza today. And we all stand up and applaud Honza today. What a day. So, next up in the season after this race, we've got Austria, Azerbaijan, and then Spain. We shall all stand up and applaud Honza. So, his name was Sousa in Australia, changed his name to Honza. 8 weeks later, he has dominated here in Brazil. Honza crosses the line and wins in Brazil. We haven't seen him all day today because he has dominated this incredible Brazilian Grand Prix. Firestriker, let's see how much he opens the gap in the championship. So we'll see the extra points awarded to him. And 2,000 Pigs on debut gets a podium. And what a hard-fought race it was for him today. Lika, unbelievable battle with him. And then Rennick crosses the line on debut in P5, and then Madav, I think, had a bit of a spin there. And yeah, that was yeah, I think he had a bit of a spin there because of the yellow flag. What a crazy day today. Unbelievable. What a day. Eight weeks later, he comes back and dominates. In Australia, he struggled so much. He had so many moments. He was completely off the pace. But 8 weeks later, 8 races later, he comes back and dominates here in Brazil. Welcome back, Honza. Awesome drive and very clean drive for Honza. He grabs the win here in Brazil. And how about that? Lika gets drive of the day. That's an extra 5 points to him. So let's wait until the championship will be what's the word? Updated. And I think cleanest driver I will give to Honza, because he was literally nowhere to be seen. As soon as the lights went out, he just bolted. He was in the lead for the whole race. Well done to Honza. He is your winner today. Goodbye. Faced with tears of joy. What a race. Since I'm
Points did I get?
So, what did you have again? You had...
Wait. Yeah.
So, you got most overtakes. So, P3... let me just...
Loudly crying face, loudly crying face, loudly crying face, loudly
Oh my
crying
God.
face, loudly crying face, loudly crying face, loudly crying face.
Do you
loudly
mind?
crying face, loudly crying face,
Right, for
loudly
P3,
crying
it's
face,
22
loudly crying
points.
face, loudly crying
So,
face, loudly
you
crying
get
face, loudly crying face, loudly crying
25
face,
points
loudly
out of that,
crying
pigs.
face, loudly crying 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 face.
How many of these did you put in? Oh, bloody hell.
Loudly. Crying face, loudly 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 crying face. Face with tears of joy, 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 face. With tears of joy face, 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 with tears of joy face,
With tears of joy face.
tears of joy face, with tears of joy face.
Is it gonna end?
Tears of joy face, with 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 tears of joy face.
My life is cooked.
With tears of joy face, 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 with tears of joy face.
Unbelievable.
Joy face, with tears of 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 joy Face with tears of joy, 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 face. With tears of joy, face 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 with tears of joy.
What the helly?
Face with tears of joy, 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 face with of joy, face with tears.
How many did you put?
Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. Tears of joy, fast lift. You're gonna be the champion.
Okay, so Liquor
It'll be close.
came fourth.
Yeah, I'm not going to give up, but I don't think he'll have the chance anymore.
So Liquor came fourth. So let me just do the championship really quick. Let me just sort out the top two in the championship and see how it is.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Bro, too old of a meme lol.
Right, so let's sort out the championship. So, Lika got driver of the day.
Been racing.
So that means P4 18 plus 5 20. Am I okay?
France 45-39 England.
Right, 23 points. So
65th minute.
Lika gets 23 points out of that,
Come on.
and Fire Striker gets 25 points out of that. So it's 4 points between you guys. That's still mighty close, Lika. That is still very close. But anyways, I'm going to end the stream here. Yeah.
Wow.
Six Wi-Fi was on life support. Alright, anyways, I'm going to go, guys. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.